Hello, one rental at a time family. This is Jonathan reporting on a day early on Wednesday, May 13th. We just had some crazy reports come back to back, literally yesterday and today, CPI and PPI.
Yeah.
Mike, you've been talking about this for a while and you've been seeing the market go bonkers.
Yeah.
What does this mean in terms of for rates and the market in general and where things are headed?
Unfortunately, it means it's getting more and more likely that I'm right. So, what do I mean by that? I think it was 3 months ago, the odds of a rate increase were zero. And, I think the market was still expecting 3 rate cuts this year, which meant a lot of investors were sitting on the sidelines and waiting. And I said at the time, that I thought a rate increase was more likely the next move than a rate decrease. And at the time, I was a man on an island all by myself. After CPI's hot reading yesterday, the odds of the next move being up, not down, jumped to 31%. The odds that the next move is up, not down after PPI. Dude, PPI today was 6%.
Insane.
Six, six, six. Now the odds are 52% that the next move is up, not down. So what does this mean? It means that, again, we don't know what's coming, but if I am right and the next Fed rate move is up, not down, it means mortgages are going to get more expensive. And, the other thing you need to realize is still today, rates are better now than last year by a significant portion. How can that be? Well, we got the squeeze of spread, right? The spread today is near historical norms. Last year it wasn't. Do you guys realize that if we had the spreads of the worst of the spreads, we would have mortgage rates today close to 8%? Today, and Jonathan will talk about this later, you can still get something in the fives. So what I would tell real estate investors today, and who knows if I'll be right, but you can go back and look at my 8 years. I've been a hell of a lot more right than wrong. If you find something today that works and you're in a position to lock it, right? This is totally a like it, lock it market. I would not gamble because, again, I think the odds that rates go up, not down in the short term to medium term are better than zero. That's what I think investors need to be thinking about. I think investors 90 days ago still believe the hype that 3 rate cuts were coming and thus they were going to wait. I told you it wasn't coming. And now there's a 52% chance that the next move is up, not down. So I guess what I would tell people is inflation is real. A 6 reading on PPI headline is crazy. 4.8 on core is crazy. The Fed's going to be forced to react, I think. Now, we can talk about what happens after that because I think it will be a mistake. But, dude, Jonathan, I think the chances that rates go up from here are, better than 50-50. So if you're an investor doing what I talk about, lock, disrespectful offers, all of that, you've got to be calling convoy and locking some shit down, right? It just doesn't make sense not to do that today. So that's my thoughts on a crazy 6 PPI.
Yeah. And also, I want to remind people because I've had these conversations with a lot of the ORAT family on like, hey, what do you think the effects of inflation will do immediately versus long term? And I tell them, and I don't know if you agree, every single time when inflation rolls out and these fears roll out, it takes not just 1 month for it to be fixed and done. It takes quarters for it to actually roll into the different parts of the economy to take effect. And then after that is when things it gets worse before it gets better, right? Um, and
Amen.
I and I think people forget and think that, okay, no, 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 that means war is going to end. Let's say war ends. Let's say Trump figures this out. That means rates are going to go down tomorrow, right? And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not how it works. It'll react, right? The market will react, but it does not mean that rates or the market in general will actually move to the positive or where we need it to move just
Mhm.
because the war ends tomorrow. It's a multiple month long, year long process for everything to roll through.
No, I mean, the reason why, again, you can go back and look historically. Every oil shock has led to a recession. Every one. So you must ask yourself, are we in an oil shock? And I think you're an idiot if you say no. Just look at PPI this morning, right? Most people think of the oil shock as affecting gasoline, and it did. It was up 15.6%. But to your point, oil is in everything. What does that mean? Well, how about freight? Shipping freight. Do you guys know the last mile is on trucks? Freight was up 8.1%. How about transportation in general? That was up 5%. How about goods? You know what goes on the back of freight? Goods. That was up 2%. How about services? People just driving to work. That was up 1.2%. So again, to your point, an oil shock is sneaky. It's kind of like when you drop a pebble into a pond, you get these concentric rings. That's what oil does. And you just see it broadening out and broadening out. And, we've got months, and to your point, quarters to see. And this is why I thought the next that's why I thought the next Fed move would be up, not down, because, 1 month of 6% PPI, Jonathan, you could call that transitory. You really could. But you know what? Last month was 4.9. This is 6. What's next month? 6.2, right? Pretty soon you're not, in transitory, you're a trend.
Yeah.
And that will force the Fed to react. It'll just force them. They have 2 mandates. Full employment, which again, if based on the job numbers from last week, check, got that, nailed it. And stable prices. Sorry, bud. 6% PPI, you ain't got stable prices. Do you guys remember 9.1 CPI? Well, it might be coming.
Yeah. And I think that is to segue into the rate side. Right now is kind of that pocket that we were kind of talking off camera of conventional obviously moves boom, 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 boom every day, right?
Yeah, a couple times a day.
Yeah. The non-conventional world, non-QM world hasn't moved and caught up to that trend. There should be a bigger gap in between conventional and non-conventional right now. I priced out a DSCR loan for someone this morning that was doing a purchase with 20% down, right? Good cash flowing asset, single family residence. 5875 was there on the rate sheet with a 2-point buy down. With 20% down, 5875, 2-point buy down. 2 months ago, if everyone had listened, they would have been at 5625, right? But now we're talking the floor moved up. It's 5875 across the board usually to buy it down, and you can still set it and forget it. I think that's still a set it and forget it type rate
Sub
and market.
6, absolutely. Yeah. Sub 6, set it and forget. And this is important. Let's be clear. You helped me do a cash out refi.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that was, 6 months ago now, 5 months ago. And I got 599, right? And I was happy. So again, folks, it's there for you. So again, I think I see it in my world. Lots of investors 3 months ago were like, hey, Zuber, 3 rate cuts coming. I'm starting to see deals on my market, but I'm going to wait. And it didn't matter what I said because they were convinced themselves. Mm-hmm. Now, folks, I think if you look at what's coming, I don't think 5875 is going to be on the table much longer. 562 is already gone. Sub 6 may be gone soon. So again, this whole set it and forget it opportunity, it will not be open forever if I'm right.
Yeah.
Again, and I will remind you, if we had the worst of the mortgage spreads, we would have rates at 8% or almost 8% today. We could go back there.
And I think on top of that, what was even crazier that I was looking at yesterday, even with the readings yesterday, is we have a specific lender that we've been talking about, a specific fund that funds on these loans in personal name in like 17 states that we're in. They don't do anything beyond those states. Mm-hmm. If you call us, I'll let you know what fits best, right? But within those states, we're still 30-year fixed, still can buy down to 5.5. Okay, so that's literally still on the table, but it's personal name DSCR versus LLC. And then on an ARM, which I know you hate, but might fit depending on people's time frame, you can still buy it down to 5.25, right? And the reason I bring up these buy downs is because this is the market where you can actually do the transactions and get the buy downs funded, right?
Yeah, buy the seller, have the seller. Yeah. Dude, if you're not getting the seller to fund your buy downs, you're leaving money on the table.
100%. And this is the market to do that. So we're seeing people do these deals, and I think that's where everyone's mindset needs to be, right? I'm sure you agree.
Oh,
100%.
Sure.
Look into these projects, do the work, and then get the seller to pay the buy downs to get you down to 5.5, 5.25, whatever that ends up being. And you should set it and forget it. Make sure it cash flows well, because no matter what, if you're sub 6, and I think you said it too, sub 6, you're good no matter what market you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the chance, because again, I'm all for the whole refi game, when rates go down. I think we're in a decade period where if you can get something sub 6, it's set it and forget it. The only thing that's going to take us, much below 5 would be a nasty recession, which certainly are possible. But where we are today, it certainly looks like the odds that rates go up, not down, is greater. So if you're a real estate investor, you're in our family, you're doing the work, you have a deal. Maybe you were waiting because you thought rates would go down. Let's flush that down the toilet. I think that's risky. Let's get a rate today. Let's run the numbers today. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, go back and ask for a lower price to make it work today. So Jonathan, if somebody wanted to reach out, what do they do?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com/ORAT and let us know you came from there.
Folks, he actually added ORAT to their website,
Yep.
which is amazing. Convoyhomeloans.com/ORAAT. Quite the honor to be featured on the page. I appreciate you, man. Take care.
Thank you.